Well, good morning and welcome back to CityLine. I am already having a blast here in the studio with my two guests who are here to talk about the Fort Nisqually Living History Museum and also about this very unique partnership that I am so excited about. So please join me in welcoming Allison Campbell. You are the Event and Volunteer Coordinator at Fort Nisqually Living History Museum. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. You brought with you this fabulous woman who I only get to see on Facebook, but I do love her a lot. Latasha Ware, you are the Outreach Coordinator for Tacoma Community House. Welcome, my lovey.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Boy, a different show, but Tacoma Community House just celebrated their big birthday and also has new construction happening just a stone's throw away from here. I cannot wait, and I'm sure you're like, I can't wait either.
Oh yeah, excited. We're so excited.
I bet. Well, let's first off, before we get started, Latasha, let's talk about your background with Tacoma Community House. How long have you been there?
So I've been an employee for 7 years, and then I did a 1-year internship prior to that. So 8 years total.
8 years. You are a gem. What position did you start out as?
Intern in the Employment Services Office.
Oh my gosh, that is a success story right there.
Thank you.
They are very lucky to have you.
I'm
and
lucky
you,
to have
Missy, how long have you been with Fort Nisqually?
So it'll be 3 years coming up.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
And where were you before that?
So most recently, I was at the Museum of Life and Science in Durham, North Carolina. But I've been in the museum world for a long, long time, all different kinds of museums.
I like that. Well, yeah. you are well regarded in this industry.
Thank you.
So Fort Nisqually, I call it the Williamsburg because it is. It's known for special events that bring history to life. And I'm excited to hear about this phrase that you're going to tell us about called Klahowya. And it's a fun name to say. So tell us about the story behind it and what is the origin and what does it mean?
Sure. So perfect pronunciation.
Thank you.
Nicely
Hooked on
done.
phonics, baby. Hooked on phonics.
It is pronounced very phonetically. So Klahowya is a greeting, sort of like aloha, in a language called Chinook jargon, which was in the 19th century the common language spoken all over the Puget Sound region, all the way up to British Columbia and down to the Oregon coast. It was a trade language, a pidgin language that was developed between the local tribes, the French, Canadian, and English fur trappers that were coming into the area. So this was the way they communicated. This is the common language you would have heard at Fort Nisqually in the 1850s. And Klahowya means welcome, hello. It's just the common greeting.
Oh, I love that. Oh, Klahowya. I may have to end my show with Klahowya on several unexpected occasions from this point on.
Do it.
So, Latasha, I've spent time at Fort Nisqually with my daughter growing up. I got to have the privilege of judging their outdoor cooking. And then working for Metro Parks, I also knew a lot of people who work there, and it's always warm and welcoming. Tell us about the partnership between Tacoma Community House and Metro Parks. How did it come about, and what are your shared goals for introducing new people to Fort Nisqually?
Of course. So Allison just reached out to us and she invited me down to the fort, and I'm like, I have the best job in the world.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
I can leave and go to the fort.
I can go a step back in time. Yes.
Right, exactly. So I took a field trip down there, a work trip down there, and Allison met me, and we just walked around the fort, and I got to talk to the volunteers or watch the volunteers work, and
Aren't they amazing?
we just chatted about the possibility of having TCH or Tacoma Community House students come down and visit. And so we sat down, and Allison asked, what would be some barriers to getting our students down there. And since that discussion almost a year ago, Allison and Metro Parks, with the wonderful partners that they are in the community, they've worked to alleviate every single barrier. So we talked about language accessibility, we talked about transportation, we talked about incentives, and one of the biggest for everybody is food. So
It's a great uniter.
she's shuttling the students down there, she's providing lunch, and we're going to provide some type of language accessibility as well. So, and even the students, the higher level students, have volunteered to do some translations too. So
Oh,
Yeah, they worked really hard to make sure that it was a welcoming environment for our students.
that is just, it is genius on so many levels. But the one that fills my heart is that it helps people understand our history. And once you understand someone's history, that is the path to fall in love with their community. And then you realize that we all are the same. We just have different areas that we come from. Allison, tell us about what visitors experience when they come. And we have some pictures here, and you've mentioned this event is free for anyone in Pierce County. So is there anything special I need to show for admission to get that freeness?
Sure. So while we do have some special opportunities for Tacoma Community House students and their families, it is a free day for all Pierce County residents with a valid ID. If you are military, active military, based locally, just bring your military ID and you'll be welcome to bring your families to the event. So we're just treating it as sort of an open house, get to know us, put our best foot forward. We have these incredible volunteers who know how to do incredible things, and so our blacksmith will be on hand, and we'll be teaching people how to make rope and how to make roof shingles the way that they did in the 1850s. We have our wonderful Punch and Judy puppet show that will be presented. We have musicians who play period songs, and some of our teen volunteers are going to be teaching visitors how to do some popular dances from the 1850s. That's one common ground we've really found, in addition to food, is dancing.
Yes.
So there will be lots of opportunities for folks to just kind of get a taste of life in Washington Territory. In the 1850s, we do tend to put kids to work.
As you should.
Pull the weeds and do the laundry,
Thank you.
and they love it. So,
And their parents are shocked.
Yep. I don't know how many of them go home and offer to weed the garden, but it could happen. So it's just a great opportunity to introduce ourselves or reintroduce ourselves to folks in the community who maybe haven't visited us in a while.
And these pictures are just melting me here. They are unbelievable. Someone's got a good eye, because these pictures, these activities happen every single moment when that fort is open like that. Latasha, share with us about why these kinds of opportunities are important to newcomers and what benefits the community gets when individuals who serve at Tacoma Community House gain from something like this.
Well, you've touched on it already, and the main thing is understanding each other. So the fort is offering us an opportunity outside the classroom to reacquaint ourselves with each other on a deeper level. Having the opportunity to learn about Washington's history. A lot of students that we have didn't get to take Washington State history in high school, right, because they were in other countries. So they'll have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about their new home, hopefully share some of their culture while they're there as well. And then also our students oftentimes don't know about free activities that are available to them in the community. And so Fort Nisqually, by having this event, they're really touching on accessibility for individuals from marginalized communities. And being one myself, learning, I was telling Allison earlier about remembering making a candle for my mom at the fort when I was younger. And so it's an opportunity for the students to experience what their children will experience in school, because they're going to visit the fort as Tacoma Public School residents. Just having the opportunity to know what's around them and what they can do, on the weekends with their family. It's huge.
Great answer. Boy, and you made a candle for your mom. I love that. And here you are bringing the community together. That's a full circle right there. So obviously, Allison, a free event for the community takes additional resources for staffing and transportation, as Latasha said, and it removes those barriers. Do you have other community partners involved that are helping make this possible that we need to talk about?
Sure. So we are very grateful to Coordinated Care, who's a presenting sponsor for the event. So their support has been invaluable. And of course, Fort Nisqually is a part of Metro Parks Tacoma, and as our parent organization, they've just been so supportive. So we have access to shuttle buses and things that we can really put to use for this event. And it goes without saying that our foundation, the Fort Nisqually Foundation, and our 100+ unbelievable volunteers just make all of this possible.
Absolutely. Anybody who's touched this, a huge Klahowya.
Yes.
I'm going to be using that word nonstop. I mean, people are going to be like, would you stop it with the Klahowya? You guys need to get T-shirts. Are T-shirts in the work?
Oh, maybe next year.
Maybe.
Gotta have T-shirts or at least buttons or something like that, you know. So how do you, first two questions, Allison. One is, how are we going to measure the success of this program? In terms of pulling it together, I know there's a lot of pride with this staff, but are you counting numbers? Do you have goals like that?
So we will be doing some on-the-ground evaluation, you know, surveying visitors while they're there. Why did they come? Do they expect to come again? What sort of interested them and brought them out that day? I think our real measure of success will be hopefully seeing some of these families come back.
Yes.
You know, recognizing that this is a place for them, that they are welcome here. And if we can get to know some of these Tacoma Community House families and other folks in Pierce County who have never been to the fort before, and they become some of our regular visitors, and maybe someday some of our volunteers. That's my that's my big dream, you know.
You're really trading histories because they're sharing their history and you're sharing this history. So, Allison, I want to wrap up before I ask you both about words of wisdom for upcoming partnerships, but let's talk about the accreditation that the History Museum received.
So just a few months ago, we found out that we are one of the newest museums accredited by the American Alliance of Museums. This is a tremendous accomplishment. Thank you. There are, of all of the history museums in the entire country, only 22% are accredited by the AAM, which is sort of the overarching governing professional organization that kind of makes sure museums are living up to best practices. And so this accreditation just demonstrates to everybody that we are at the top of our game. We are taking good care of our collections. Our interpretation and education is on point. It's been a process, 10 years officially. We've been building up to this accreditation. Long before that, the staff at the museum has been working so hard towards this.
All right.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So, Latasha, I'm going to give you the last word here because Metro Parks is synonymous with partnerships, and Tacoma Community House is too, but this is such a unique partnership. What words of wisdom or advice do you have for other agencies who are wanting to start a partnership with an unexpected partner like this?
I mean, the main thing is just, you know, return those phone calls and and get out there. As a public agency and with public resources, we're often limited. We're very limited in what we can do. And so when someone calls you and they have access to other resources or they do something different, don't be afraid to dream.
Carpe diem.
Yeah, like it's okay to go out there and just sit down and brainstorm and see what can come of it.
I love that.
I mean, if we put 2 and 2 together, we'll get 4. So.
And the friendship and the energy between the two of you is priceless. Thank you both so much for what you have done to enrich our community. And thank you for helping us understand that if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Mwah. Klahowya.
Thank you, Klahowya.
All right, we're going to do a little moving around here, and then we have Tacoma Sister Cities Film Festival here to talk about the upcoming event. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back after this quick break.